In this video, we'll be going in chronological order to introduce the history of a few sports drinks from the last century to today. Let's get started. Energy drinks are supplements that are supposed to help us work better, faster, and get more done. Modern energy drinks generally fall into two categories. The first is the pure sports drink, which only contains water, electrolytes, and sugar. The goal is to quickly replenish the nutrients your body loses during exercise. The second is the energy drink with added caffeine, which is mainly intended to delay the feeling of fatigue coming from the central nervous system. Of course, the most common ones are hybrids that have a bit of both. The history of energy drinks can be long or short. It all depends on your definition. If we use a relatively broad definition, then the earliest energy drinks can be traced all the way back to the legendary Emperor Shennong, who drank tea while sampling hundreds of herbs, or the early inhabitants of the Americas who drank guarana in the Amazon basin. But if we narrow the definition, then a prerequisite for the energy drink's existence would be the birth of caffeine isolation technology. This technique was first accomplished in 1819 by the German analytical chemist Friedlieb Ferdinand Runge. Since the raw material he used in his experiment was coffee beans, that's how caffeine got its name. From then on, caffeine as a powerful stimulant could finally be added to other things on its own. It could be delivered in tablets, powders or potions, and of course in drinks. So today, let's take a look at a few of the relatively old-school energy drinks. Oh, by the way, we won't be talking about Coke this time, because in the early days of Coca-Cola, it had cocaine in it, not just caffeine. Including it on this list would be totally cheating. Lucozade, eliminating the possibility of it being added to other things. It could be delivered in tablets, powders, or potions, and of course in drinks. So today, let's take a look at a few relatively old-school energy drinks. Oh, by the way, we won't be talking about Coke this time, because in the early days of Coke, it had cocaine in it, not just caffeine. Including it on this list would be totally cheating. Lucozade. To this day, it might still be the best-selling drink in Scotland. Its history can be traced all the way back to 1901. Its earliest brand name was Strachan's Brew, because it contained a caffeinated formula. It was super popular with the local working class back then. Not only did it wake you up and fight fatigue, it was also a hangover cure. And as for its earliest ingredients, besides caffeine and the usual syrup and coloring, they surprisingly added something really unique: quinine. From what little I know, the only thing I know about that stuff is that it's the cinchona powder that cured Emperor Kangshi's malaria. I mean, why would you put that in a soft drink? If any of my friends in the medical field can explain, please do. Anyway, Iron Brew is this kind of unique Fanta-like beverage. Back in the day, its exact formula was an absolute secret. Besides the inventor, the only other person who knew it was the company's chairman, Barr, and the complete list of ingredients was kept in a bank vault. In Scotland, rumor has it that to keep it a secret, Chairman Barr would mix the drink's concentrate by himself in a small room at the company headquarters every month. And the Iron Brew of today, besides being sold in the British Isles, is also exported to the United States, Canada, Portugal, Spain, Australia, and even Pakistan. For Scots living abroad, this is the taste of home. In 1927, a pharmacist from Newcastle named Hunter invented his own drink made mainly of carbonated water glucose syrup plus a small amount of caffeine. Hunter didn't originally invent this to make money, but rather to help his son, who had jaundice, recover more quickly. Model. When it comes to flavor, kids are often the best judges. Take Hunter's son, for example. He was pretty thrilled with the taste of this homemade drink, and he recovered from his illness very quickly. But Hunter also had a colleague named Owen. This guy had a seriously sharp nose for business. In this heartfelt little invention born from a father's love, he saw a business opportunity. For a very low price, he bought the recipe for Hunter's homemade drink, right then and there. And he started pitching it to local hospitals. A good product always sells based on its story. So back then, Owen would vividly tell the tale. And naturally, the story was about Hunter's son and how after having the drink, he recovered in no time. As luck would have it, a local hospital was at that very moment looking for an auxiliary treatment for the flu. When they heard Owen's story, they felt like they'd struck gold. And when they tasted the drink, wow, it was sweet and sour. You can't imagine how delicious it was. If they gave this to kids as a health tonic, wouldn't it sell like crazy? So they struck a deal on the spot. Owen even gave the drink a name, Lucozade. And its slogan was Lucozade, AIDS recovery. So with the hospital's endorsement and some advertising, Lucozade became a must-have for patients at the local hospital. Later on, a company that got its start selling laxatives, the Beecham Group paid a hefty price to buy the recipe. They started distributing it across the UK, and their initial marketing still targeted sick children. I mean, kids hate taking medicine, right? So the message was, what are you waiting for? Buy this. Beecham even gave Lucozade a new slogan that was very direct, the nicest part of being ill. From then on, Lucozade became a huge hit in the UK and was sold for nearly 100 years. Then in 2013, the Japanese company Suntory, for the hefty price of £1.35 billion, acquired Lucozade. So while Lucozade was originally positioned as a recovery drink for sick people, Dr. Enough from the very beginning was aimed at the general public as an energy-boosting drink. In the beverage battlefield of the 1950s, taste was what determined a winner. Competing manufacturers were all trying to add various fruit-flavored additives into a base made of carbonated water and syrup. But a Chicago businessman named Schwartz decided to pave his own way, finding a totally different path to success. He started experimenting with adding B vitamins into his drinks. Vitamins had been discovered in the early 20th century by a Polish scientist named Funk who was studying berry, and he first isolated them from rice bran. It was later proven by the British chemist Hopkins that vitamins play an absolutely vital role in human health. Back then, this was a brand new cutting-edge health concept. Schwartz tapped right into the public's fascination with vitamins, pioneering the practice of adding them to beverages. Because of this, his product became all the rage. In addition to vitamins, carbonated water, and sugar, its formula also contained a hefty dose of caffeine. Schwartz described it as nectar from the heavens and claimed the energy drink worked wonders on stomach aches, hangovers, and keeping your mind sharp. It was said to be miraculously effective. After Dr. Enough became a huge hit, Schwartz later used its formula as a base to launch another spin-off drink, which he eventually sold to the Pepsi-Cola company. This is what's now commonly the star product Key Lime, which once held over 5% of the U.S. carbonated beverage market. But even more legendary than Key Lime is the story of Schwartz's son, Schwartz Jr. He actually ended up transforming his dad's soda company into a software company. The coherent operating system he developed had a profound impact on many early personal computers, including the IBM PC. The 1960s were a period of rapid economic growth in Asia, and many office workers desperately needed an energy drink to stay sharp and recharge their batteries. So in Japan, Taisho Pharmaceutical launched Lipovitan. And in Korea, there was Bacchus, inspired by the Greek god. These products were noticeably different from Western energy drinks. They deliberately downplayed their identity as a beverage, instead emphasizing that they were a kind of miracle tonic. The containers for these energy drinks were also intentionally small glass bottles similar to medicine vials. In their formulas, they got rid of the fizzy, sweet stuff that didn't fit the product's image and replaced it with all sorts of nourishing things like ginseng and herbal medicines. Then they added caffeine, taurine, and vitamins. Basically, the goal was to combine modern science with traditional Chinese wellness concepts to create an all-around boost for the body. You could say they were in a league of their own. So were there any products in Asia similar to traditional Western energy drinks? Absolutely. That would be the world-famous Red Bull, created by an ethnic Chinese businessman born in Phuket, Thailand, Chaleo Yuvidya, whose family roots trace back to Hainan Island. Chaleo came from a humble background. His parents ran a small local business, raising ducks and selling fruit. But Chaleo was no ordinary person. After only a short time in his hometown, he set out on his own in the capital, Bangkok, and became an antibiotic salesman. After getting familiar with some of the relevant knowledge, this guy actually went and founded a company called TC Pharmaceutical. The products he developed included anti-diarrhea medicine and stomachache remedies, but sales for all of them were pretty flat. So Chaleo Yuvidya expanded his sales scope, producing a drink that helped laborers and truck drivers stay sharp, Red Bull, and it gradually achieved a dominant position in the local market. As for the rest of the story, you've probably heard bits and pieces of it. An Austrian businessman, Dietrich Mateschitz, visited Thailand, saw the business opportunity in Red Bull, and so he partnered with Chaleo to bring Red Bull to the West. It was a huge hit in the European market in the 80s, entered the US in the 90s, and just like that, Red Bull climbed to the top one step at a time. Its slogan, giving wings to people who are active in mind and body, also won the hearts of countless young people. So if those earlier energy drinks, aimed at the general public, were perfect case studies in commercial marketing, then the origin of sports drinks actually has a bit of science behind it. In the summer of 1965, a medical team led by Dr. Robert Cade was invited to develop a sports drink for the University of Florida's football team. The goal was to quickly replenish the nutrients athletes lost during a game. The research quickly produced results. Since the Florida football team's mascot is the locally common alligator, Dr. Cade's team eventually got their inspiration from the word gator to name their drink. And that's the origin story of the famous Gatorade. And when the University of Florida football team took home the championship the following year, Gatorade was put on a pedestal, quickly becoming a sensation throughout the American sports world. After that, it changed hands a few times on the capital market and was eventually acquired by Pepsi. And of course, wherever there's Pepsi, you can't not have Coca-Cola competing with them. So shortly after, Coca-Cola also launched its own sports drink, Powerade, which is the brand of sports drink we see at the World Cup. In the market, you could say each has its own merits. As of 2020, Gatorade controlled the U.S. sports drink market with a share of over 70%. It is also the official beverage sponsor for America's 4 major sports leagues, the NFL, NBA, MLB, and the NHL. As for Powerade's share in the U.S., although it's less than 20%, at major global sporting events like the Olympics and the World Cup, Coca-Cola has a very solid partnership. Because of this, Powerade, starting from the late 1990s, has always been the official sports drink of the Olympics and the World Cup. And as for the drinks themselves, the flagship products of both are caffeine-free pure sports recovery drinks. But among the spin-off beverages, under the brands, they both have traditional energy drink style options that contain caffeine. Among them, Gatorade's Fast Twitch series even specifically advertises its high caffeine content, claiming one bottle is as strong as 2 large cans of Red Bull. As for whose formula is more sensible, or which one provides better athletic recovery, that's basically a philosophical question, to be frank. The academic community's view on ingredients other than caffeine, including taurine. For all sports drinks, the real effectiveness of their ingredients is up for debate. And since the sports drink industry is so huge, who really knows? Just buy the one you think tastes the best. But hold on, everyone. I've got some words of wisdom for you. My neck is so sore and tight, like the muscles on the sides are being stretched. Does this happen to you guys too? We have to stare at computers and phones for hours on end for work and school. And the second we get a break, we immediately grab our phones to binge watch shows or play games, sometimes even staying up all night. When we're focused on work, we often unconsciously jut our necks forward and hunch our shoulders. And before you know it, you've got that ugly neck hump while you're still young. If this sounds like you, then you need to pay attention. Usually before serious neck problems develop, you'll see a few common symptoms. Pain in your neck and shoulders, numbness or weakness in your arms, dizziness and headaches. The natural curve of your neck might straighten out or even curve the wrong way, and you'll have a limited range of motion in your neck. But look, we all know we should look at our computers less, play on our phones less, and get more rest and exercise. But for today's urban workers and all the students out there, that's just a bunch of correct-sounding nonsense. You know it, but you can't do it. So don't worry. Instead, why not try this GC full body massager? Just place it behind your neck and turn it on. It feels like 2 hands are constantly kneading your muscles. As it works, you can even hear a soft little click-clack sound. Add in the gentle heat for about 15 minutes, and the knots in your tired muscles just melt away. You'll feel totally recharged in no time. It feels even better when you use it while leaning against the sofa. You can also freely adjust the mode and intensity. I keep it on my desk now, and I use it almost every day. Besides your neck, you can also use it on your trap muscles like this. For your lower back, thighs, and calves, the bang for your buck is off the charts. And it's only about the size of an iPad, so you can take it with you when you travel. It's both a neck pillow and a massager, so you can get a massage anytime, anywhere. If the cover gets dirty, you can just take it off and wash it. And it's not just me saying it's great. Everyone who's bought one can't stop raving about it. They're buying it again to give to their dads or to friends. It's super effective at relieving neck fatigue. If you're always looking down at your phone sitting for long periods or are a gamer, you should definitely give this a try. It comes in 3 colors and it makes a great gift for parents and elders too. Their muscles are often seriously strained, so giving them a quick massage when they're uncomfortable is a great way to show you care.